Problems, problems, and even more problems. Looking at any direction, whether we're talking about the forums, Reddit, livestream chat rooms, or even your own matches, everybody seems to be complaining all the time, and that relentlessly. Blizzard has been awfully quiet in the past little while when it comes to our beloved competitive game mode, and that has naturally been fairly frustrating to those of us who are invested in it. We wanted to get better because we love playing in it. Truth be told, personally I've been taking a bit of a backseat. I was taking a long break from competitive play to just recently get back into it, and I don't know if it's my absence from it that makes me think it's not as bad as it used to be, or if I just got lucky, but personally I've been having a pretty okay time on ladder recently, which is why finally, rejoiced we're seeing at least some comp gameplay used as background footage in my videos. Granted, not all of them were wins, but again, I make a living talking about the game, not being good at it. At any rate, browsing through Reddit, I stumbled upon a couple posts that I found fairly interesting. Sadly, they have not gotten a heck of a lot of attention, which I would like to attempt and change. So I am deliberately not going extremely in-depth about their contents, but more use them as a general guideline to base my video on. You can find the links to them in the description below, so please go check them out and join the discussion. But today, we are going to talk about 5 problems that Blizzard needs to address, and that preferably as soon as possible. Number 1. Smurf accounts and boosting. Now previously I did not think that Smurf accounts were that big of a deal for the same reason Jeff said they were not a problem. The fact that they get accelerated towards their original rating very quickly in our current environment. That means that a GM Smurf might have fun stomping diamonds for a while, but they would find themselves just shy of GM very quickly. The problem with Smurf accounts, however, does not only lie with having players participate in games that don't match their skill level. Attitude is also a big factor. And I have not thought much about that until I caught myself not caring recently. And I mean, that is the reason I have an alt account to begin with, so I don't have to care, because if I don't care, I don't get angry at all the bullshit that we all have to suffer through when playing competitively, and I have more fun playing the game. But I would lie if I said I'm trying as hard on my alt account as I would on my main, and I think that's natural. The stakes are lower. It's an account that, at the end of the day, I don't care about. Some players take it to the extreme and outright throw matches when they don't like someone on their team, and those are the ones that obviously need to be taken care of as quickly as possible. But generally speaking, if you are someone who plays on the main account and you try your hardest to win, you'd prefer to have your teammates do the same thing. So for that reason, as well as problems with huge rank disparity, account sharing, throwing, and boosting, I think that Smurf accounts are something that needs to be taken care of somehow. Number 2. Dynamic queue. This is a problem that, as pointed out by the OP of the aforementioned Reddit post, is not highlighted often enough by the community. Sure, toxicity is a problem, throws are a problem, and so on, but the current dynamic queue system is, quite frankly, ass. Especially since the Moira patch, we have seen a massive influx of matches in which players participate who should never meet each other in game. Platinums and diamonds tossed into top 500 matches to somehow even out the team's averages. Needless to say that this is a level of nonsense that should never occur. The game trying to bounce team averages has proven to be a problem a lot of times. And even when the devs said that they will increase queue times and even outright cancel queues for highly rated players when fair matches could not be created, it keeps on happening, and now even more often. So for real, Blizzard, get on it. There's no excuse for this one. Number 3. Performance-based matchmaking. Now I made a video on performance-based matchmaking just recently that goes very in-depth into things that Blizzard said about how their systems work, so if you want to get the full experience of the hows and whys, I'll be popping that video into the top right corner right now. But it is just now thanks to another Reddit post that I actually saw an idea for a solution that I have more faith in than the wave of sheep claiming that flattening SR gains and losses is the be-all and end-all without thinking twice about what that would actually mean for our gameplay experience. Again, I highly recommend you check out their post made by Mystic Attack, link will be down below. But the idea is that the performance of the team as a whole should be considered rather than an individual player's performance. Now I don't know how that would translate into an individual's MMR, what kind of values that would affect, or if a completely new one would have to be added. But the basic idea of, if my team as a whole is doing better, I will get more MMR sounds really good to me. I mean, there should still be an individual factor that slightly affects gains and losses based on how well you perform personally, just to combat boosting, but it should weigh in far less significantly than it does now. A player's MMR could come into effect during their placement matches, so they could get D-ranked at the start of each season if they really did get boosted. Then we could finally take advantage of the short seasons. Bottom line is that flattening SR gains and losses in itself is too simplistic and would cause a heck of a lot of problems. But if we add different layers on top of it, like this team performance metric, we could actually get somewhere with this idea. Now I am sure that if I wanted to, I could dedicate an entire video to this topic, talking about pros and cons, things it could prevent, things it could exacerbate, and so on. But honestly, just read the bloody Reddit post. I promise it's worth your time, and it's a shame it hasn't gotten any more attention. Number 4, more aggressive disciplinary actions. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bloody joke that somebody can throw matches in the top 1% of this game's elo for months and then see as little as a 3-day suspension despite the amount of overwhelming evidence coming from a variety of streamers. And there really isn't much more to say about that. If somebody gets caught throwing on stream and that evidence is submitted to Blizzard, these guys should get suspended, period. And if it happens repeatedly, I don't think a permaban should be out of question. But bans need to happen more quickly, so give us a platform where we can provide evidence for players having misbehaved in some way to accelerate the process. And lastly, number 5, a competitive rulebook. Now usually I primarily talk about things in my videos that I am personally invested in, things I agree with, pushing my own narrative and defending my own viewpoints. But when it comes to this one, I've just seen too many people talk about it to ignore it. Personally, I don't think it's difficult to figure out what is the right way of playing Overwatch competitively, and I am under the impression that this is more of a cop-out for people to find loopholes they can abuse rather than actually wanting to stick to such a hypothetical set of rules. However, so many people speak in favor of Blizzard just coming out and telling us how we should be playing that I decided to put it on this list as well. But well, this is not all about me and how I feel. What do you think is a problem Blizzard needs to address as soon as possible? Do you agree with this list or do you prioritize something else? I'll be looking forward to hearing from you guys and see what you deem important. But until then, thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you all next time.